Lumaki ako sa household na simple lang ang rules. Mag-aral ka ng maayos, huwag kang magbisyo, huwag kang mag-aksaya ng oras, at magiging maayos ang buhay mo. Hindi naman sila masama. Sa totoo lang, mahal nila ako. I can feel it in the way they provide, in the way they worry. Pero love, sa bahay namin, madalas dumadaan sa expectations. Kapag may medal ka, proud kami. Kapag may 98 ka, bakit hindi 99? Kapag top 2 ka, sino top 1? Normal na linya ito sa amin. Hindi nila sinasadya manakit. Pero habang tumatagal, parang may kondisyon lagi ang paghinga ko. Kailangan may mapatunayan. Noong elementary, madali pa. Naturally competitive ako. Masaya ako kapag mataas grades ko. I like the structure. I like the feeling na may result agad. Simple. Tapos lagi ko naririnig, ikaw ang pag-asa. At first, nakaka-motivate. Parang may mission. Habang tumatanda ako, naging mabigat siya. Kasi when you are called pag-asa, hindi ka pwedeng mapagod. Pwede kang magkasakit, pero kailangan mabilis gumaling. Pwede kang umiyak, pero dapat tahimik. Nung high school, doon nagsimula yung identity ko na honor student. Hindi lang siya label sa report card. Naging role siya sa pamilya. Sa reunion, ako yung ipapakita. Sa kapitbahay, ako yung example. Sa relatives, ako yung buti pa si ano. Kapag tumaas, celebration. Kapag bumaba, concern na may halong sermon. I learned early na ang safest version ko ay yung version na productive at polite. So yun ang pinapakita ko. Pagdating ng senior high at college applications, naging practical ang usapan. Anong course ang may trabaho? Anong course ang may board? Anong course ang pwedeng pang-abroad? Hindi ko sinasabing mali sila. Alam ko yung context. Hindi kami mayaman. Hindi rin kami mahirap na walang makain. Pero sakto lang. May bills, may utang minsan, may pagkakataon na kapos. Nakita ko yun. I understood why stability mattered. So when nursing came into the picture, pumayag ako agad. I told myself I wanted it. At some point, I did. Mahirap ang nursing, pero clear ang path. Study, duty, pass the NLE, then work. May scholarship pa ako nun, so parang sign na ito na ang tama. Sa simula ng nursing, okay pa. I worked hard, as usual. Naging coping mechanism ko yung pagiging busy. Kapag anxious ako, nag-aaral ako. Kapag lonely ako, nagre-review ako. Kapag may family tension, naglilinis ako ng notes. I told myself it was discipline. Sa totoo lang, it was also fear. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of disappointing them. Fear of losing the only thing I was sure I could do well. Nung pumasok ang clinical duty, doon po unang naramdaman yung pagod na hindi nawawala sa tulog. I would come home, physically tired, tapos kailangan pa magbasa. I would sleep, then wake up with a heavy chest. Hindi naman ako dramatic. Hindi ako yung tipong iiyak sa hallway. I still showed up. I still completed requirements. Pero unti-unti, nagiging numb ako. Parang may switch sa loob ko na naka-on lagi at hindi ko na siya ma-off. When people say burnout, akala ko dati simpleng pagod lang. Later, I learned it can look like detachment, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and this constant feeling na kahit anong gawin mo, kulang pa rin. Sa bahay, hindi ko sinasabi. Kasi sa amin, kapag sinabi mong pagod ka, ang sagot ay lahat naman pagod. Fourth year, mas naging intense. May mga nights na nakatitig lang ako sa screen, hindi ko ma-absorb yung binabasa ko. It was weird, kasi dati mabilis ako mag-aral. Dati kaya kong mag-summarize, gumawa ng concept map, mag-recall. Bigla, parang may fog. I would read the same paragraph again and again. Then I would panic because time is passing. That panic would make it worse. Tapos papasok yung guilt. Bakit hindi mo kayang gawin? Dati kaya mo. I hated myself for being weak. Kahit wala naman akong baseline na strong other than being able to function under pressure. Nung graduating na, nagkaroon ng sequence of events na parang domino. May family issue na kailangan ko ring i-handle emotionally. May medical scare sa isang relative. May money conversation sa bahay na naririnig ko kahit hindi nila ako kinakausap directly. May online requirements na sabay-sabay. May internship stress. May classmates na competitive din. Hindi ko sinasabing kasalanan nila. It's just the environment. The pace never slowed down. I started losing appetite. I started forgetting small things. I would get headaches. I would get easily startled kapag may bigla ang tawag ng pangalan ko. Tapos ang pinaka nakakatakot, I began to feel like I didn't care kahit gustong gusto kong mag-care. I passed my course requirements. I graduated. That should have been the peak. Pero pagkatapos ng graduation, instead na relief, I felt empty. Para akong napiga. Parang wala nang natira. Tapos next na agad, board exam review. Walang pahinga. Sayang ang momentum. Habang fresh pa, kaya mo yan, honor student ka. I tried to follow schedules. I tried to be that person again. I began to dread opening my notes. Parang yung notes mismo ay threat. I would avoid it, then feel guilty, then hate myself, then avoid again. That loop was brutal. I started missing small targets. Hindi na ako nakakapag-summary ng buong module. I would tell myself, bawi bukas. Bukas, mas lalong hirap. I would see other batchmates posting their progress, their scores, their routines. I tried not to compare, pero hindi ko maiwasan. Then my parents noticed, hindi na ako kasing active. Hindi na ako palaging nasa desk. I would stare at the wall sometimes. I would lie down in the afternoon. Doon nagsimula yung word na ayaw ko. Tamad. Ang sakit pakinggan ng tamad. Kapag buong buhay mo, ang identity mo ay masipag. Kasi kapag tinawag kang tamad, parang binura lahat. Parang walang value yung years of effort. Parang one season of struggling cancels years of showing up. I wanted to explain, pero every attempt sounded like excuse sa kanila. Kapag sinabi kong nahihirapan ako, they hear ayoko. Kapag sinabi kong burnout, they hear arte. Kapag sinabi kong I can't focus, they hear distracted. One night, narinig ko yung parents ko nag-uusap. Hindi nila alam, nagising ako. Sabi ng isa, simula nung graduate, wala na. Nasa bahay lang. Hindi na tulad dati. Sabi ng isa, baka nasanay na. Baka ayaw na mag-effort. Tapos, may line pa na tumama. Baka maling pagpapalaki. Hindi ko alam kung paano ko ilalagay sa words yung feeling. Para akong sinuntok, pero walang bruise. I felt shame and anger At the same time, a few days later, I tried to open up. I chose a calm moment after dinner. I said, in Tagalog and English, mixed, ba, ba, parang hindi ako okay. Hindi ko ma-explain, pero pag nag-aaral ako, parang nagsha-shutdown yung utak ko. I feel tired all the time. Ang sagot nila, lahat naman tired. Kulang ka lang sa disiplina. Noong panahon namin, mas mahirap. Huwag kang mag-inarte. Then, the usual comparisons. Yung anak ni ganito, pumapasa na. Yung pinsan mo, nagtatrabaho na. I didn't argue. Kasi kapag sumagot ako, disrespect. So I nodded. I went back to my room. I cried quietly. Then I felt embarrassed that I cried. Doon ko na-realize na may language barrier kami kahit parehong Tagalog. They grew up in a time where you endure, where emotions are private, where survival is proof. I grew up with a world that talks about mental health more openly, but I still have their voice inside me saying, "Weak. I am stuck between two systems." One system says rest is necessary. The other says rest is laziness. One says ask for help. The other says, huwag mo kami abalahin sa problema mo. Eventually, I did something I never thought I would do. I asked for professional help. Hindi ito bigla ang decision. Inibo ko muna yung courage and I look for options na kaya ng budget. I found someone na pwedeng kausapin. It wasn't magic. The first sessions felt awkward. I didn't even know what to say kasi sanay ako mag-perform kahit sa conversation. I kept thinking, I have to sound reasonable. But slowly, I started describing patterns, how I tie my worth to grades, how I fear disappointing my parents. One of the hardest parts was accepting that burnout is not just pagod. It can be emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced ability to do what you normally can do. It does not mean you are lazy. It means your system is overloaded for too long. That idea gave me relief, pero may kasamang fear. Kasi if I am not lazy, then what? It means I have to change something. I have to rest. And those things in my house are treated like rebellion. Habang nasa process ako ng recovery, I started sleeping at consistent hours. I started walking outside kahit 20 minutes lang. I started doing short study blocks, not marathon sessions. I tried to stop studying as punishment. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. That's the truth. Ang problema, sa mata ng parents ko, progress is only visible if there is a result they recognize. If I wake up early and walk, they don't count it as productive. If I attend the session, they don't count it as work. If I study for 2 hours with full focus, they don't count it kasi dapat buong araw. Their baseline for effort is extreme because that is how they survive. So even when I am improving internally, they see nothing externally. That gap creates tension every day. May mga araw na I hear comments like, bakit hindi ka pa rin tapos mag-review? Bakit ang tagal? Noong panahon namin, di uso yung ganyan. Kung gusto mo, gagawin mo. At kung minsan, hindi sila diretso, pero ramdam yung tone, yung sigh, yung silence kapag nagkamali ako ng maliit na bagay. The house feels like a constant evaluation. Parang exam kahit nasa sala. Parang kailangan lagi akong may output para hindi ako mapansin. Ang pinakamasakit ay yung paradox. I want their support, pero I also need space from their expectations. When I try to be close, I end up feeling pressured. When I keep distance, they say I am cold or disrespectful. I don't want to fight. I don't want to blame them. I also don't want to lose myself trying to be their ideal version of me. I decided to focus on what I can control. I cannot rewrite their beliefs overnight. I can communicate calmly. I can avoid arguing when I am already tired. I can also accept na they may not fully understand, but I can still respect them while protecting myself. That said, I still get hurt. Kapag narinig ko yung tamad, parang bumabalik yung old fear. I start doubting myself. I start checking my past like I need evidence that I am not lazy. I remember the nights I stayed up doing care plans. The duty days na hindi ako kumain ng maayos dahil sa workload. The review sessions where I tried to push through even when my mind was blank. I remember the times I helped at home while studying. I remember being the child who never caused trouble. Then I asked myself, if I did all that, why am I still not believed? I think part of it is that my parents are scared. They don't say it directly, but I see it. They are scared that our family will stay stuck. They are scared that people will talk. They are scared that the investment will be wasted. Fear makes people harsh. Fear makes people grab what they know. What they know is pressure. What they know is discipline. That is how they raise themselves. So they apply the same method to me kahit iba na ang situation. There was a day na I truly thought I was broken. I woke up and I couldn't move. I sat on the bed and I just stared. I felt like the honor student image was a costume I could no longer wear. Then I thought, if I can't perform, what am I? That question scared me because I realized I had built my whole identity around achievement. If achievement stops, I feel invisible. That is not a healthy identity. That is a narrow life. So I started doing something uncomfortable. I started letting myself be a beginner again. Sa maliit na bagay. Cooking a simple meal. Reading a book not related to boards. Cleaning without making it a performance. Talking to a friend without turning it into a productivity report. It felt strange. Parang I was wasting time, but it also felt human. I started to see that my brain needs recovery the same way a muscle needs recovery. You don't lift heavy every day and expect no injury. You rest, you rebuild. I kept reviewing, but with a different approach. I reduced my hours, but improved my focus. I started using practice questions as feedback, not as judgment. I started asking myself, what do I need to learn? Instead of, what do I need to prove? That shift is small, but it changed my mood. Still, family dynamics are persistent. May moments na I would be in the middle of a good study block, then I hear a comment outside my room and my focus collapses. I feel my chest tighten. I want to cry. I want to defend myself. I also want to keep peace. So I end up absorbing it, then it leaks out later in fatigue. It's like living with background noise that your body reads as danger. People can say ignore it, but the body doesn't always follow that command. I also want to admit something na nakakahiya. Minsan, I feel resentment, not loud resentment, quiet resentment. I resent that I had to be good all the time. I resent that I was praised mainly for results. I resent that I never learned to rest without guilt. Then I feel guilty for resenting them because they sacrificed a lot. They worked hard. They did their best. So I am stuck again in another loop. Resentment, guilt, silence. What helped me slightly was changing how I interpret my parents' comments. Not to excuse them, but to protect myself. When they compare me, I tell myself they are trying to motivate the only way they know. It helps me keep the relationship intact while I build distance internally. I also started setting practical boundaries without making it a big speech. I told them my study hours and I tried to be consistent. I said, sa umaga hanggang tanghali, review ako. I asked for quieter time during those hours. Sometimes they respect it, sometimes not. I learned that I cannot wait for a perfect environment. I have to adapt while still asking for basic respect. I also learned to step away from conversations that are turning into attacks. Not storming out, just saying, Ma, Pa, I hear you. Then I leave. No argument, no long debate, just exit. There was one moment that I will remember. My parents saw me studying late one night. Tahimik lang, no comments. After a while, they left a cup of coffee near my desk. Walang salita. That small gesture felt like a bridge. It didn't erase the harsh words from other days. But it reminded me they are not my enemy. They are imperfect people trying to handle fear. I cried again, quietly, but this time, it was not just pain. It was relief. I don't know how this story ends yet. I am still in the middle. I am still reviewing. I am still trying to regain confidence without forcing it. I still feel anxious when the exam date gets closer. I still get days where my mind goes foggy. But I am learning to respond differently. Instead of calling myself lazy, I ask, am I depleted? Do I need a break? Do I need to sleep? Do I need to talk to someone? That feels more honest. If you are reading this and you are also the honor student who burned out, I won't tell you it gets better. What I can say is, you are not alone in the confusion. It is possible to be hardworking and still reach a limit. It is possible to love your family and still feel hurt by them. It is possible to respect your parents and still set boundaries. Those things can exist together. You do not have to choose between being grateful and being honest. I'm posting this because I need advice on something specific. How do you talk to parents who equate struggle with laziness? How do you explain burnout in a way that does not sound like excuse? How do you protect your mental health while staying in the same house with people who measure worth through output? Salamat kung umabot ka dito. Even writing this felt like breathing after holding it in for too long. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for more stories. Once again, I'm Lechon and I'll see you next time.